Hi everybody. Today I want to talk to you guys about attitude. Our attitudes set our course for our entire day, maybe weeks, maybe even months. If you wake up with an attitude, it tends to just progress throughout the day. It becomes this like ripple effect. It just builds and builds and you become more frustrated and angry over little things that don't even matter. And whether this is just something you can apply to your everyday life or in business, I think this is something everybody needs to hear. Our attitude determines our destination. If you are an entrepreneur, you want to start venturing into a business that is stable, that can give you some financial freedom or freedom, more time with your family, you need to set the course and set the example for other people around you and be a leader. Leaders tend to have an optimistic attitude on life and in business. I've been reading a book called The Winning Attitude by John Maxwell. And in the opening chapter, he talks about how he gets on a plane with a friend of his who's a pilot. And he's the farthest thing from a pilot, John Maxwell is. So he's observing everything this pilot is doing. And he's noticing the pilot looking at all these gadgets in the plane, but specifically eyeing one in particular. And so John asks him, what is this gadget? And he says, it's the attitude indicator. I'm actually going to read a couple of quotes from the book defining that. So it kind of gives you an idea. Basically, the attitude indicator is the altitude indicator. He says, in flying, the attitude of the airplane is what we call the position of the aircraft in relation to the horizon. When the airplane is climbing, it has a nose-high attitude because the nose of the airplane is pointed above the horizon. So when we are working toward goals, we need to think the future. We need to set our goals and figure out what it is we're looking to achieve, whether it's, goals for your family or your bucket list, or it's your career goals. And so we need to look at those every single day and have our eye on that, because if we're not focusing on it and thinking on it and keeping our attitude toward that goal, you're not going to achieve it. So then he also says, when the aircraft is diving, you would call that a nose-down attitude. Well, it's the same thing when it's our attitude throughout our day. When you are happy and just chipper, you have your nose up, you're proud, you're smiling. And when you are grumpy and have an attitude about things, your nose is stuck down or you can't even look people in the eye. So it's kind of that way with the attitude indicator. Since the performance of the airplane depends on its attitude, it is necessary to change the attitude in order to change the performance. So if they're at a nose-down attitude or altitude, they're going to eventually hit the ground until they crank it back up and go toward the air. So it affects the plane's performance. So again, your attitude determines how you perform. So think about some of those things and think about ways you can change your attitude. I would say the first thing you need to do is evaluate who you surround yourselves with. If you have a group around you who's negative all the time, have a pessimistic view on life, you become who you're around, and you're going to start viewing things the same way and speak negatively. How many of you have a group of friends who are the total encourager types or inspirational types who motivate you, who you strive to be, and who you look up to? Those are the people you need to surround yourself with. Because those are the people who are going to pull you by the hand and bring you with them. So when you're talking about business and growth, that's who you need to be around, is the people who inspire you every day and encourage you. It's that person you can call up and say, I'm feeling down in the dumps. I need some encouragement. I need some prayer today. Those are the people who are going to help carry you and help you push toward your goals. They're going to be the people who, when you come to them with crap that's hit the fan, which is life stuff that we have to deal with, whether it's the loss of a close friend or family member, or being unemployed, losing a job, or financial stress, being in debt, whatever it is, they're going to help you solve that problem. Instead of complaining about it with you, they're going to say, well, let's figure out a way to fix this. And they're going to help you get there. They're going to be accountable to you. So that's who we need to surround ourselves with. I've been reading in Philippians while reading John Maxwell's book. Philippians 2:5 says, have this attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus. So when we look at Christ's example to follow, he was selfless, he was secure, and he was submissive. So apply these things to your life. I encourage you to take quotes that you love, Bible verses, even just inspirational words, whatever it is that motivates you. Maybe even follow Ula Life's Instagram posts and print off their little images with quotes. Plaster them on your bathroom mirror, your bedroom mirror, somewhere where you'll see it every day, because the more you read something and you see it every day, the more ingrained it is in your mind. Write out your goals, put those up there too, and put deadlines on it that you need to achieve this by this date, because when you're constantly viewing it, you're more likely to accomplish it. Again, our attitude determines our destination.